Hi, everyone out there. How are you guys doing today? This is Petty Officer Darlington. How are you doing? We're doing our usual get you guys over the hump Wednesday out here in New York and New Jersey. All right. As you may have known, we used to be NRD New York, or we're NRD New York. Now we're NTAG Empire State, but we still represent all of New York and New Jersey and getting you guys over this hump. All right. So for the past couple of weeks, you guys have been joining us. You guys have been watching us. You guys have been sending us questions about various different things about the United States Navy. Shoot, some of the questions I would like to see is some history questions. That'd be cool. We'll go over history. Maybe we'll do history one Wednesday just to get us over the hump with some cool Navy facts. But today, we're trying to get over, the financial hump. Like, I don't know if everyone's watching the news. I hope everyone's being safe. There's, this looking like it could be a second wave. I'm not I'm not in the virus field. I'm not a doctor. I'm not this or not nothing. I'm not saying there's going to be a second wave, but yes, there's a worrisome, a wave coming through. So we want to make sure that you guys, best set up yourself for finances and, look into opportunities that can better yourself, your life, like how it bettered mine. I joined the Navy 7 years ago. So, with me today, I have our other E-Talent Scouts, Petty Officer Montalvo and Petty Officer Pinnock. Okay, so they're going to be chiming in when I go over, what we did in the first week, just simple, our base pay, how much we get paid, our allowances. Some people are a little confused when the word allowance. Think of it like if you and your kid, you got allowance from your parents or whoever raised you, and guess what? It wasn't taxed. Now you're at the age you're like taxes. Oh my God, I'm 18. Well, I'm 17. I'm doing taxes. Yeah. So that's allowances, money that's not taxed. So I'm going to cover a few of those as well, and they're going to chime in on whatever I miss. Okay, because I'm not going to pretend like I know everything. Okay. So with that said, I want to cover how our base pay works. All right. So there's no secrets to what we get paid. And if you a person out there and you've talked to a Navy recruiter and you're like, oh, they lied to me, or an Army recruiter lied to you, well, there should be no reason for them to lie to you, because if you simply Google, United States Navy base pay, or United States military base pay, you're going to see all the different base pays for each rank. So what I say base pay, basically what our salary is. Okay. So that's how much we get paid on a monthly, daily basis. Okay. Now, different pay grades, as people can come into the Navy at different pay levels. You're not always going to come in at entry level. And whatever pay grade you come into, it will be up and above. So E1, obviously, when you go to look at your research, is entry level position, and then the highest level position is the officer rank side that you come in that way. And I implore you to look those up, because it's just a huge chart, and it's literally by rank, and a good breakdown. And I'll pull this up in a second while I let someone cover the first allowance. Pull that up on the screen so that you guys can see it. And basically it's a nice breakdown, because say you're entry level 3 or your pay grade 3 and you've been in the military over 2 years, like your pay doesn't stay the same. It's like time served as well raises your base pay. So that's another neat thing that the Navy does for you while you're serving. Okay. Can someone take up the mantle while I try to find this let's start off with the basic allowance for housing. Who wants to take that one?
I could. All right. How you doing? This is Petty Officer Montalvo, part of the E-Talent team at New York, New Jersey area. So real quick, BAH, Basic Allowance for Housing. That is a non-taxable payment to service members depending on where they're stationed at. So depending on the states or even overseas country that you're currently living at, you could get a particular housing allowance to live at. A good example, if you're living in New York or California or Hawaii, we get much more money because the cost of living is much higher. You know, the price of milk, the gas, rent, utilities, things of that nature is usually more higher. Versus you have a service member that's probably living in North Carolina, Ohio, Michigan. The cost of living will be cheaper because, again, due to it being cheaper, us service members will get paid that particular rate. So there's an actual chart on the websites. It's like a DFAS website. All military members, regardless of branch, get the same BAH or allowance for housing. And again, it really is dependent upon your state, not specifically your rank. But at the same time, our BAH does change depending on your dependency status. If you have a child and or a spouse, your BAH or your allowance for housing would actually go up a bit versus if you're single. So that's a very big thing to kind of differentiate. It's only a couple $100 difference, but again, all this numbers are online. And last but not least, this is non-taxable. So which is great income. So you can utilize this BAH whether you want to live on base. If you live on a military installation base, the military will pay us that housing allowance, but then at the end of the month, they're going to go take that housing allowance because they're providing you a free home, no utilities paid, nothing, everything's for free. Or you could live off of base and utilize that basic housing allowance, and you could essentially live whether you have a mortgage or you rent. You could utilize your entire allowance. Let's just say it's $3,000 a month. You could use that $3,000 a month at the maximum potential, or you could go out there, find something cheap for $1,200, $1,500 and pocket the other half, utilize it for groceries, utilities, or anything else. It depends on what you want to do in your career and your living situation, but that is BAH.
Awesome. Thank you, Petty Officer Montalvo, for covering allowance for housing. If you could go over, I think I'm getting a little echo. You guys let me know if I'm having an echo still. No?
You're better.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So I was able to pull that up. So let me. Well.
I'll just talk about two more quick allowances that are non-taxable while Petty Officer Darlington's doing his thing. So we have one that's called a hardship duty pay. So depending on the area that you're stationed at around the world, every single area essentially will have a particular level. I'm not gonna get too into that, but we will get an additional $50, $100, or $150 additional per month. The reason why I say $50, $100, or $150 per month is the level that is designated to that location of hardship. So some areas are considered more higher risk of hardship than others, which means we will get a non-taxable incentive of $150 or $100 per month. So just to give an example, that's on top of our pay, depending if you're deployed or your location. A second one is called assignment initiative pay. So there's some particular locations or assignments that need particular jobs, which in the Navy we call rates, as well as pay grades. So for an example, if you are an AO, aviation ordnanceman, of the rank of E7 or E8, and they really need that particular person to be assigned to a duty station, they will pay that service member extra, mind you, is non-taxable, extra every single month for the duration of their tour. So not only are they getting paid the BAH, the base pay, or every other incentive pay, they're gonna get paid this particular extra pay just because that particular rank and rate is needed. It's on a case-by-case basis, but again, it's called assignment and incentive pay. That's another non-taxable pay.
Nice. Yeah. I love, that's like one of my favorite parts about the, being in the Navy is, things that come untaxable. So many of you guys out there are paying such high state taxes that, high taxes on, your just regular income, federal income tax. And like, we do get a nice hefty break on a lot of allowances that we do receive, especially like say if we re-enlist and stuff like that. It's pretty nice. It was a nice thing to, you know, because it's a nice appreciation to us that we're allowed to have that available to us. So, you know, we thank the higher ups that, okay, that I do have that page chart. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys quickly here. And share. All right. And you can see that there. All right, awesome. So it's very simple, guys. It's all I do is type in Navy pay chart 2020, and you click the first link. This website here will take you, as some of you might know, some of you might not know. We got a 3.1 increase this year in our yearly salaries, and you can literally go over this and look at what we get paid per month. Now, what I was talking about, this part here, the 2 or less, that is the amount of years. So if you're less than 2 years, this is what you're getting paid. If you've been in for over 4 years, this is what you're getting paid. Been in for 8 years, over 8 years, that's what you're getting paid. And as you can see, it goes all the way from the E1s up to the 010, 09s, 08s, sorry, up here. So that's just a quick thing that you can do because Google's a good friend. You can Yahoo, whatever you choose to, up to you. If Petty Officer Montalvo, you want to quickly go over BAS and COLA.
Yeah, I can definitely go over that. Prior to going over that, I want to mention one thing. We had a question last week and I didn't want to answer it because I wanted the specific information. Someone asked us, hey, what states won't tax me if I'm military? So I just want to go over, there's currently 9 states that will not tax your personal income. That means state tax, not federal, state tax. So depending on where you're joining out of, if you're joining out of these particular states and you're still claiming that hometown as your state, you won't have to pay your state taxes every year for taxes. They're going to be Alaska, Florida, Nevada, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wyoming. So those are the 9 states that you do not have to pay state taxes, which can, again, save you a little extra money in your pocket. Now, back to BAS. BAS, essentially, it's money for us for food. So Navy, essentially all the branches, you know, you're gonna have some sort of a cook, right? We have our jobs that are culinary specialists. Other branches term them differently. So if you're, let's just say on deployment on Navy ship, you're gonna get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and as well as we have midnight meals, which is called mid-rats. We have like snacks left out as a bunch of stuff. So that's food that's provided to us. So if you're like on a deployment kind of location, essentially all Navy sailors, we get paid BAS or money for food every single month. Although if we have cooks providing us food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we're eating, you know, from those resources, at the end of the month, the Navy's gonna take out almost about 90% of that BAS, because we're eating the food. So they give us money for food, but since we're eating the Navy's food, they're gonna get that money right back. But unlike, let's just say, sailors like us, we are currently not on a military installation or of course on a Navy ship. We get BAS, which is the money for food every single month. And again, it's non-taxable and we utilize it for anything. We wanna go to the supermarket, wanna get Burger King, whatever the case may be, that money is for us for food. So again, it helps out a lot, especially if you do your budgeting. It's essentially a non-taxable way to get money for food, but depending on your installation or where you're currently working, the Navy could take some money out of that BAS because they provide us cooks that provide us food. Another example would be if you're on a naval base, sometimes, and I've done it myself, Navy bases actually have commercial restaurants, Subways, sometimes they have like Chinese stores or a Burger King, whatever it is, but then they have a base mess where you essentially you could eat your breakfast, lunch, and dinner cooked by cooks, naval cooks. And some people like to go there because it's almost like an all-you-can-eat buffet kind of style. So that being said, again, we just swipe our military ID and it comes out of our BAS. It's one of those kind of systems. The other allowance was, what was it again? BAS and what else? Cola, yes, I'm sorry. Cola. So we actually get paid Cola depending on the location. I myself was actually getting paid Cola. I joined out of Staten Island, New York, And for majority of my career, I still claim New York City, Staten Island as my, my hometown of residence, no matter where I was stationed at in Virginia or all over the world on deployment. But I still got COLA pay. So what COLA pay is essentially an additional pay for certain zip codes or overseas, depending on the high cost of living area. Some places around America essentially has higher cost for gas, milk, and things that I kind of mentioned previously. So BAH can't cover it. Or at least that's essentially the mindset. So they give certain sailors, depending on that zip code, COLA, which is essentially extra money that kind of goes on top of your BAH to cover your cost of living. So for an example, at the time, I believe I was getting about $3,300 for Staten Island a couple years ago, but then my COLA pay was around $300 or $400 on top of that a month. Again, COLA is non-taxable. So long story short, again, COLA is an additional pay for high cost of living areas pertaining to a zip code specifically that would allow you to make your needs. Because at the end of the day, they do not want to raise BAH, the cost for the entire state, if only a certain zip codes within that state are very high cost. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So COLA really evens out the playing field for sailors that are trying to afford, housing, milk, gas, things like that nature. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It made a lot of sense to me. Probably more sense to me just because I'm in the Navy. So this is why we ask you guys to drop your questions in. We'll address them just like how we did the following week, so that your question is answered over the air, and that, and everyone else out there that might be thinking the same way you are, they get to get that information as well. As well as we, if you're looking to find out that question right away, we'll definitely drop you, in your DM and let you know the answer to your question. All right. I'm going to cover the GI Bill very quickly because I'd like to bring it up and go more into detail during when we talk about education in the Navy, and how you can properly continue your education or while serving or after you serve. But the GI Bill is kind of something great, as people are starting to look back up into getting into school, applying for loans, getting FAFSA, hopefully you're getting grants and not the student loans, but it is what it is. What the GI Bill is a benefit that we receive after doing 3 years active duty, and allows us to go to a 4-year school for 36 months, tuition paid, and we get that housing stipend that Petty Officer Montalvo had discussed earlier, the basic allowance for housing. That way, we can cover room and board while going to school. It's awesome. It's great. I want to get more into details, like I said, when I cover education, because there's definitely different ways you can use the GI Bill that makes it very beneficial. And then we also get the MGI Bill, and then there's a way to actually balance those two so that you can maximize the amount of schooling that is paid for while you're in and while you get out. So please tune us in for that week when we cover education. All right. Because that's some really cool stuff, because what everyone loves to do and everyone should do is at least have their bachelor's and continue their education, whether whatever the degree might be in, and don't want to be paying out of pocket for it. It's not fair to have to sink yourself into a 30-year loan, because I've met people that are 55, 56, 57 and still paying off student loans. So I don't want that for anybody that's young or anyone all the way up to age 39, because that's our age limit. All right. So that's the topics there on base pay, a couple of our allowances and benefits, in terms of, what's it looking like on our like our pay stubs and stuff like that. The last one I want to cover is the veteran affairs loan. Petty Officer Pinnock hit this on the neck when we did it the first week. So, just finish up on that and we'll wrap up, guys. Petty Officer Pinnock.
Hey, good afternoon, New York. So, as you can see, we had to redo some of the videos that we did a couple of weeks before. We're, here practicing social distancing a little bit more stringent than we did before. So we're just gonna jump right into the VA home loan. So for us active duty members, once you served 180 days consecutively on active duty, we're eligible to use what's called a VA home loan. So basically, it's essentially what that is it's a loan that you could get from your bank, um, basically to help you buy a home. So it for certain states, you have a certain maximum limit. Um, you go on like the VA website to find out the max in a specific area, and I think it also goes by the rank as well. However, everybody qualified for it, but the amount they qualify may varies. Um, so long story short, the way it works is you wanna get a house. You go to the bank, tell them, hey, okay, I'm trying to buy a house. They'll approve you for the loan. It's still gonna be based off of your credit score as well, but they will approve you for the loan. The sweet thing about the VA home loan is just that we don't have to pay a down payment. So when you go in there and you're closing on your house, you're basically not paying anything. But of course you gotta pay back the loan. Um, I mean that's basically it. So I know a lot of people right now. The main thing um, between them and buying the main thing that's holding back from buying a home is the down payment, because sometimes it may be 20%, 15%, and for a lot of people, that's kind of hard to come by, especially if you're trying to buy like a $500,000 home, $7,000 home, $7,000 home. That's gonna be a lot of money that you're gonna need to put down, and a lot of people can't afford that. So luckily for us, this is one way we could save money while still working on home and a home. I use it particularly myself for my first home, and I plan to use it again. So the other great thing about the VA home loan is you can use it more than once, as long as you're living in your home for at least 2 years. And yeah, it's pretty dope. So that's something that the Navy could offer you to help you achieve what you need to for you and your family. So I'll turn it back over to you guys. I know we kind of went over our time for the week, but yeah.
I wanted to mention just one thing about that too. Talking about the VA loan, I'm not going to go too much into it. The cool thing is, if you do a conventional or FHA or any other type of loan, if you do not pay 20% down payment, you got to pay mortgage insurance. It's a monthly payment to your lender or their bank because you couldn't meet that 20% requirement. But with military, the VA loan, whether you put a dollar down, $0 down, or whatever you put down, we do not need to pay that mortgage insurance. So in the life term of your 15 or 30-year mortgage, you're going to save $200-300 a month every single month. You add that up, it's a lot of money, not including when you put that $200-300 on interest, it compounds. So you're saving thousands of dollars because one, you're paying 0% down if you want to, and two, you're not paying mortgage insurance, which any other loan that's not VA would have to do. It's a really, really a big cost saver, you know what I mean? So, and also we also put a social media post showing right now VA home loans, the interest rates are as low literally as 2.2% for even new buyers. So it's crazy out there. We're actually getting lower rates than conventional FHA loans and others with, of course, decent or good credit. So just look out for that.
No, thank you. That was great. People definitely go look up the difference in interest rates out there and how low they are right now, and ask yourself, would it be better, if you simply do the 4 years, or even apply reserve time? If you already have a great job, why not do the reserves and do a once a weekend thing and be able to have the benefit of being able to access these types of things that we talked about today. So that's all we're going to cover for now. We do want to let you know next week we're going to be going over again the thrift savings plan, which is essentially like our 401k, like what you guys got. So we covered that weeks ago, but we really want you guys to understand what's available to us while we serve our great nation. So I really do want you guys to look up thrift savings plan and come with your questions, how it works. We're going to be live here. We're going to be doing it again next week, Wednesday. You know it. You're going to get used to it. And we are going to up the lives. So please, your questions, conversations, you just want to ask us about, hey, what'd you do 4 years ago when you were in San Diego station on the USS Essex? And I'll answer that question for you. All right, guys. You guys all have a great day.
One more thing.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so if you actually been watching and this is the very end, next week, Wednesday, we're going live. Please DM us, message us, comment us on the social media platforms, and ask us a question. The best question next week, we will mail you some Navy swag for free. Whether it's some Navy gym equipment, maybe it's Navy lanyards, Navy iPad cases, we'll send you one free Navy swag for the best question. So comment, DM us or anything, and the best question will get it, all right? And then we'll go shout you out next week.
I think it's official. I think it just got started. I think we just started Navy or hashtag Navy swag. Did we just do that?
Yeah, why not? We got it. We
just did it. All right, awesome. Yeah, we're gonna, that's gonna be the thing. Hashtag Navy swag. Best question. You're gonna get the Navy swag sent to you. We're gonna reach out and you're gonna get it, and you're gonna get it mailed ASAP. All right, that's awesome. Hashtag Navy swag. I'm gonna drop it in the comments below. For the best question, you guys are gonna get a gift. I love it. That was awesome. Anything else from Petty Officer Pinup before we log off?
Yeah, I think we covered everything. Definitely covered everything. Oh, good to go.
Awesome. I think I lost my video, but that would happen. But thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Okay, there it is. I appreciate you guys tuning in with us, and we'll see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye.